at a point you like run out of mana. You're trading regen, which is not what you want to do as a core against a support. But as a 5 position, No-Tail is very content. Just, you know, you trade better than Jakiro. You're going to run at him, you're going to spam Q, spam W, and your core in the game. So I think wherever Jakiro goes, and No-Tail in that. Storm, who's ahead, like straight up take over the game. I like this start though. They're looking to tri-lane. I think this is a great answer to both an LC support and a Slark. Slark needs levels. You want to trade. You can't do that in a 3-on-3. Just straight up spam the spells.
So they're trying to push in the first wave here to get lane control. If you look at 23 Savage, he's trying to drag the creeps up to connect to the next lane.
Perfect.
Which will make the Treant Protector all the more effective.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to cut off people, get a good Nature's Grasp in. And that just depends on Cuckoo having an okay time, which we saw, like, Faith Beyond, they would do this all the time on LGD when they were running the offlane Venge. They would just kind of throw him to the wolves in the beginning. To take out the... Oh! If he runs into the second Remnant, it'll go away. Oh, we missed out on First Blood as a result, but this fight is so fun.
That... Oh, man. That was like a... What's the Eastwood movie? The Standoff?
Sumail keeps on going. They actually trade supports, but Sumail has racked up some serious stats. Is going to be able to get the double kill in this lane. So T1 may have gotten the lanes that they thought they wanted, but ultimately lost that bottom one.
Probably get the kill, maybe straight up win the lane, but nobody did.
Bringing 23 Savage to the top lane. Looks like they no longer want to play out this bottom one with Sumail getting so big. They're going to try and run down Seb. Seb nicely positions himself to be able to get multiple stuns. They managed to hit him a couple times. He's still bleeding out on damage, but the dual breath didn't hit him, so they have to get a little bit more. Finally, they get the magic missile, and that'll finish him off.
That was just like all the runes, man.
Here comes the response move.
Carl, he's not afraid, even with Thompson here. He says, okay, probably don't have chains. Not really in much danger here. Thompson gonna make use of that arcane rune to make sure he's gonna survive here. Seb gonna receive a helping hand here, a bit of a purge. Dealing with that Jakiro, which is gonna be constant problem for him. Zephyr is gonna be run down by the Ember Spirit.
That's your best.
Knows the radius of this rep.
It's out of mana. Well, actually, he does have 6 magic wand charges, so he's kind of baiting him in a little bit for one last jump away, and that jump is far enough. Sumail trying to catch him midway through. 23 Savage right in the middle of all of these heroes. Sumail not too afraid of him as after, he's going to be a swap back. 2 seconds, he doesn't actually have his ult. Oh no, Sumail. Then T1 realized they made a grave error. Seb is going to be able to get off a good ultimate though, and in return, 23 Savage has overextended himself and receive tips from OG.
That is unfortunate. I think 23 said it best. Sumail, a bit of a blunder there. I think he was trying to like catch the storm mid-zip almost, but as you said, the mana was enough to get him out. And then Savage just kind of returns the favor.
I think the storm went too far. Like I didn't expect him to be able to jump that far, so he must have had a soul ring just no one.
Yeah, between Soul Ring and I think it was 6 magic wand charges. Yeah. Whitemon almost dying there. Thompson still playing the edges, looking for that last light. They are going to be able to get a nice overgrowth, locking down with the ice pad followed up. Thompson's dead. Sumail may just fall again if they can somehow get in front of him. They've got to swap. Sumail's going to show. There it is. Swap back, stunned while the Dark Pact is down, and T1 holding their ground, holding the line around the tier.
So I think from OG's perspective, they feel like they can lose 10 fights, but as soon as they win one, the map is going to open up for them.
Okay. So T1 has to parry perfectly every single time.
Exactly.
And we haven't seen them slip up yet.
No, exactly. I think what T1's doing is like perfect, but OG also are aware of that. Like, he needs to keep going this way for them.
Caught him. Whitemon quickly killed T1. Or actually, they stole Macropyre on Saksa. That's a big pickup.
Sumail, he went for the Dark Pact cooldown, and it's because he's just kind of the win condition. And in addition, it's like 2 lives, right? So you can just be this frontliner that your team kind of needs, plus damage steroid for the troll.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, stole a Macropyre. That's actually going to do enough damage to be able to quickly kill Carl. Great play from Saksa and Sumail. Oh, out of the magic missile. thinking about pursuing here, especially with the Storm Spirit being chased away there a bit. He can't come back to join this team fight perhaps, and they're going to be able to hit a nice two-man stun. Cuckoo may be the first to die, but remember, he's got that extra life. Throws out a magic missile, keeping Sumail back. T1 do a pretty good job. They do have BKB on the troll, so they might be turning this. BKB, there it goes. Who's he going to target? They swap back in No Tail, which is who they want to be able to gun for. They finally get off the old Sumail, and Sumail, he doesn't have any mana. They lock him down, finish him off. Nicely played by T1. 50 seconds, he's dead for T1, turning on a dime. There's
supports.
Yeah.
I think both the supports of T1 have been doing a great job of knowing their limits and surviving on this little health.
Oh, they managed to catch him, but there is going to be the defensive swap. 23 Savage is going in. He's going to try and deal with Thompson first, but it's stolen swap from Sox. Is going to be able to get him out, but the Overgrowth catching Sumail again while the Dark Pack was down. Cuckoo dies, but immediately comes back as a Spirit, catching Seb, swapping him out of his own ultimate and keeping him in place. 23 Savage is keeping the rest at bay, and his team can deal with leftover behind Seb. Go straight for Roach.
I mean, the supports, Zania just said it, like,
Yeah.
they just straight up win that fight. Zephyr also has Holy Locket, Heal Talent, and Living Armor, so yeah, you can initiate on my Stormer Troll. I'm just gonna keep you alive. It's a ridiculous amount of heal and armor, and then there's an Ice Path on 3 heroes.
Yeah.
Like, Sumail doesn't do damage.
Something very interesting that Zephyr, OG needed to take control early, and there's still absolutely hope, but they gotta play these fights smart.
23 Savage was very far forward, and OG looked to be able to potentially punish him. Not going to be able to get the immediate duel. The swap from Sox is still stolen and still managed to get out No Tail. Pounds forward, Sumail does manage to get on top of the support, so there is going to be Whitemon down. An important member of T1 to be able to stay alive in these team fights. The swap back in, managed to get the duel. 23 Savage gets the duel off. Sumail keeping him inside of the Wukong's command, where he will die there. OG finally managed to win a team fight, a big one at that, where they get 3, and Carl thought maybe they could turn around on a Seb, but Seb does have Sumail right behind him, so even if they do manage to kill this Monkey King, they may be losing both of them here as...
Oh no, 23 Savage, what have you done?
Bad time for lag.
And I think Carl might be in trouble now as well.
Yeah, they're going to be able to catch both of them. They do manage to finish off Seb, which was what the original trap was laid for.
Control. If you can force this, you're going to always be happy.
Yeah, it's just the Monkey King arena here just zones off anything, but they really need the Venge to be present when they take the fight.
Dude, Sumail, he still's got some stats going, and he's not slowing down whatsoever. These pounces are staying on top of these supports. They cannot seem to get away. Swap back in, No Tail. Now he's in an awkward position. They're going to jump on a 23 Savage, turns around, bops a BKB before the stun can come in for the Monkey King, but again, he's going to retreat with that BKB. No, he's not. He's going to finish off Sumail. Turns around real quick, blows him up, does manage to get the swap back in, and 23 Savage heals up just a little bit. Can he finish off Seb before and stay alive? He does. Thompson's going to commit, trying to finish off 23 Savage, does get that one. With the BKB, might be able to get 2 here. Zephyr, just one slide away from dying, actually does die to Soxa. Chaining up 2, TPing out, doesn't leave a rent. He's going to try and start backing away. Thompson's looking for some of these heroes. Sumail pounces forward. He's going to go for Whitemon here. Starts stealing some of those stacks. Tries to sneak on top of him and should be able to get that kill on the right-hand side. Thompson does catch the other support at the same time. That's going to be Zephyr. At the same time, Sumail has to be careful here, especially with the Cuckoo. His Spirit is going to get burned out, but he could buy back if he wants to and rejoin this fight as a full-out hero. No longer the case. No longer an option. T1 will retreat, giving this. And it's going to force out the swap from Cuckoo and probably get him killed as he's pulled back in by the telekinesis. His Spirit will manage to get out at least.
No buyback though.
Yeah.
However, yeah, who cares, right? You're still in the game. Sumail's being a lot more disciplined as well though with the ultimate usage. It's now preemptive, which I think is key.
The Storm Spirit had to go all the way back to Fountain, so may not be here unless he wants to make a real gun at it and go for a long, long zip. Keeping the vision inside. Sumail's double damage is going to wear out. Storm's going to start TPing onto the outpost. Thompson is in. Thompson's going straight up for those supports. Sumail, not sure where he's gunning to, but 23 Savage is a little bit isolated here. Cuckoo's trying to keep pace to make sure he can swap back 23 Savage, get him away from Sumail, while Seb is scaring back the rest of these heroes. Thompson's going to be able to finish off Zephyr. That's going to be first. 23 Savage looks at Seb. Carl commits with the Aghanim Scepter, pulling them both in, but inside of that Monkey King ultimate, they don't feel great. Again, the stolen swaps coming out from Saksa is going to be able to keep his cores feeling good and feeling aggressive. As telekinesis tossed back, chained up together, toss, duel, going out, no tail, they turn around quickly, kill him, winner, and Carl gets away before Sumail can hunt him down. The Sumail doesn't kill. He's going to be able to go for the supports and may still be able to catch Carl. Carl, no mana, Sumail bounce on top of him, they catch him, 4 dead on the side of T1. And now Roshan is going to go the way of OG.
So this team fight, I don't see any other player than Topson doing this. But you notice how we just straight up into no vision, rolls in with the Ember. He knows that they're there. He's playing off of the fact that he knows that they're positioned there. That's how 95% of supports are going to position themselves when their cores are running into the Roche pit. And they get this team fight where there's like basically 4 fights going on at once. Topson's chasing supports. You have Sumail chasing 23 Savage, and you're forcing T1 to not be able to use that swap to just save whoever's getting initiated on. It's really, really smart gameplay coming out from OG, and they're doing a lot of this blind. They're not playing off of vision. They're playing off of where they think they're doing, what they think they're doing, and their own game sense.
Yep, they're just forcing skirmishes, and they're ensuring that supports die, which they were unable to do earlier in the game. And I even love the way like they're itemizing with this knowledge of like how they're gonna play. Topson is going refresher, like he is playing for like these quick fights. It's all about survival for OG. Create chaos. T1, they need a more coordinated method to win fights. Like they need to kind of control. You saw even there when Savage got kills, it was with like 3 or 4 heroes collapsing chains.
Here we go.
Cuckoo did still manage to get the swap, but 23 Savage can't hit him right now. Sumail, his ultimate was used, still has the Depth Shroud. They're going to turn around and start doing some damage with a pull in onto Carl. They do something to Sumail, but he's going to be hopping his BKB. 23 Savage responds in kind here. Cuckoo's going to fall, Spirit Form now. They do manage to get the nice lockdown. Macro Fire going out. The Ice Path could actually lock down, but Topson refresher. BKB still potentially up. Chase for Carl doesn't actually quite get him. Meanwhile, 23 Savage is just getting kited around and ripped apart by the rest of OG. Now with no carry, T1 very likely going to be dying here unless Carl could do something magical by himself, but he just doesn't have it in him. Doesn't have level 25 nor the shard. Wow. GG is called. OG will take the second game here against T1. T1 definitely putting up a much better fight, but you gotta think back to that moment. 23 Savage just way overconfident in his positioning, not respecting perhaps OG's aggression enough, and I feel like that's going to come back to haunt him, because this has been a story that has been there for 23 Savage for what has been a relatively young career. Last